Welcome everyone. This is a simple video that shows how the invoke action works. Before we get into what the invoke action is, it's probably useful to understand why it's important. If you think about building an agent, it's a series of steps, a series of actions that you take. And at some point, you could have an agent with lots and lots of actions. And as you can imagine, it becomes hard to debug because if there's one step which is off and the agent has 20 steps, then now you are running 19 steps for no reason than to just run the debug to figure out where it is. It's also hard to track where your errors are. The other thing is oftentimes if you think about a large task, there are sections of that can kind of group together and could be run separately. And so this is where, if you think about it, you have a master process and there are many sub processes. That's a good case where each of those sub processes can be their own agents, and then you want your master agent to then invoke the sub agents. And so, as an example, let's say you're doing company research, and as part of that company research, um, you need to go research information about the company, but then you need to go research information about the CEO, and maybe you need to go do research about the industry that the company is in. So you could technically build three agents, one to research the company, one to research an executive, one to research an industry. And you can then build a master agent, which basically takes the input of the company and then it basically calls those three agents or invokes those three agents. They all run independently, bring their response back, and then you take it all, collate it, and then show it. So that's a good example of what you would do, a practical example of where invoke works. Now, getting to how you uh, build Invoke in Agent AI. I have a test Invoke agent. And so if you go to your actions, it's very straightforward. What I'm doing here is I'm asking it to provide some text as input. And then I'm basically taking that text and I'm, doing some processing on that text. And then this is the key thing to know is that I am calling this agent text to audio. And so if you look over here, this is my text to audio agent. And this text to audio agent takes an input, and that input happens to be a text input that stores the output in a variable called out.text. And so this out.text is going to be critical because what we are basically doing, if you think about it, I'm mapping the output of my master agent to the input of this. And so the way you do it is this out.text, now you're saying, is whatever the value is in this out audio text, which is in my master agent. And so in my master agent over here, I have this thing which basically takes the text and then converts it into a conversation between two people and then stores it in out audio text. So I'm basically saying, pass this out audio text to my text to audio. And then this will then go do its stuff and then it will return an output that I then come and say, uh, run that agent, store the output of whatever it returns in out underscore URL, and then show it. And so that's kind of a very simple example. If I run this now, just to show you how it works. So I'm running my text invoke agent. It's going to come up. It's going to ask for some text. Here's a funny one. I can actually give it some code. So it can take any kind of text. What this is going to do is it's going to take this and then convert it into text that is understandable, then pass it to my agent, which is the audio agent, which is going to then take that, convert it into an audio file that it then stores on AWS, and then it's going to return a result back. And so as we are seeing this execute, this is the LLM is now running to take my text that was pretty much code, and it's going to basically generate. So here you'll notice it's the text that it created. So it took that code that I created, made it into this little text, which then got sent to my agent. The agent then ran and it came back. And so you'll now notice here, here is my minute 53 audio file that was created. And if I now go play this,
Welcome to today's episode where we're diving into the world of YouTube automation. So, imagine you've got this YouTube playlist and you want to keep it fresh and updated without manually checking each video. That's where this nifty script comes in.
so anyway, I can play the whole thing, but you get the idea of like While this is an example of how to invoke an agent that takes text, converts to audio, and then returns a result back, you're seeing how the invoke process works. Hope this was useful.